Hi, I'm Eddie Griffiths, and I'm the High School Partnership Officer for Manchester United Foundation. We're here today at Media City UK, recording part of our special series addressing all things student voice. So we've got Habib and Savannah with us from Dean Trust Ardwick. Savannah, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Savannah. I'm in Year 9. I go Dean Trust Ardwick. And I really enjoy performing arts and singing, and I hope that's one day that's something that I can take up in the future.
Perfect. Habib?
Hi, my name's Habib and I'm in Year 10 and I really enjoy playing football and I hope one day to go pro in the sport I love.
Nice, good stuff. So we're here today speaking about various topics. We're going to be addressing some of the social norms, unfortunately, and maybe some things that we want to change and see different in not just society but in schools as well. You guys are the next generation. You guys have got all the evidence. You live in it. We want to hear from you. So the first topic we're going to look at is anti-bullying and bullying. This week is anti-bullying week. So again, I just want to get your understanding or your feelings on what bullying is, or if you think it's something that happens, if you're aware of it. You know, you guys tell me.
Me and Habib was discussing before that we don't think anti-bullying week is very heavily talked about, and we don't think it's a subject that's often touched upon enough. We think the education system is very focused on your appearance to school and more your education more than your well-being. And if you're being bullied, it's something they wouldn't notice at first glance.
Okay, no, yeah, it's a really, really good point. So you don't think it's focused upon enough in schools? Okay, go on, expand. What is bullying? What do you think it is?
Bullying's like just being unkind to someone or treating others how you wouldn't want to be treated.
Okay, treating us how you wouldn't want to be treated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what? How does it happen? What does it happen like? Is it something that happens in person? Is it something that happens online? You tell me.
There are lots of different types like cyberbullying. It could be verbal, physical. So
Okay.
yeah, there's just different types.
Okay.
And personally, I don't think that both the verbal and the social bullying, the cyberbullying, is taken as seriously as physical bullying. I feel like people just think that, well, it's only words, and words ain't gonna hurt you, words aren't gonna hurt you. But physical, that's when it steps the boundaries. But it's not, because it should be when it first starts with the words and the name calling or whatever it is. That should be where the stop's put.
Really good point. Really good point. And I completely agree. I think the verbal stuff happens more often, right? Than that the end part being physical. Although they do happen. I mean, statistics will say that a quarter of British people in schools will be on the receiving end of bullying more than once a month, which is a lot. Okay. What do you think the effects of that are? If we say it's nearly a quarter of people, so we've got 1,400 people nearly at Dean Trust Ardwick. There's a lot of people that have been on the receiving end of something quite unkind and hurtful every month, more than once a month. What are the effects of that?
There could be lots of effects mentally. It could like affect them. Like if someone's getting bullied for what they want to do, it might stop them from wanting to do it later on in their lives. It could even lead to them bullying other people because they think, oh, that's all right, or maybe that's the way they cope with the way they're being bullied.
That's a good point. And it becomes a bit of a never-ending cycle then, doesn't it? And then you've got people who think it's okay and then go and do it to someone else because they're on the receiving end of it, which seems to be quite common with bullying as a whole, rather than addressing the actual thing. What about you, Savannah?
Yeah, building on what Habib said, he's right. It stops them from doing what they want to do and what they enjoy. And if someone's getting bullied in school, which is the environment they're supposed to be most safe in, then it's going to make them think, well, if I can't even be safe in school, how am I going to be safe outside and in other places? And, we rely on teachers to make us feel most safe and most comfortable in school. And if they're not picking up on the bullying and not picking up on the little things, then who really can we rely on?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. You mentioned about the teachers and the school and the systems in place. But is there something that the young people and peers can do for each other? So what advice would you be giving? You guys are year 10 now, you're key stage 4. What advice would you give to people who are on the receiving end of bullying or are being the bully?
I'd say, yeah, just be kind to people, and if you're being bullied, just find maybe that one person or that one adult that you can trust and go to whenever you need them.
Who would that be at your school?
A PSM, pupil support manager.
Yeah, all right. Do you feel they're approachable? Do you feel like you'd be happy doing that?
Yeah.
Do you feel that sorts the problem?
Not necessarily.
Okay, go on, expand.
Not always, because sometimes talking about a problem can make make the problem bigger than it needs to be. I feel like sometimes if you just have that one person to talk to, if someone's making sly comments about you, you can kind of deal with it, you know what I mean? It's something that you can just brush off the shoulder. But like if you talk about it, you might think it's a bigger problem than it needs to be.
Okay. Do you think that a lot of people just think these small comments are fine, they're okay to make? These little jokes or these little things that can be said quite quickly and quite off the cuff and in social groups, in like you said, whether it's banter or not, do you think that happens quite often?
Yeah, some people don't actually realise that they're bullying someone or making someone feel unwanted or not needed.
In what context?
Perhaps like someone's just, maybe something's going on with someone in the friendship group and you just wanna like have a laugh or make a joke out of them, but you think, oh, maybe they're laughing to highlight the pain or what they're really feeling.
Yeah, and that's, go on, Savannah.
Yeah, and if you notice that going on in your friendship group, you know, it doesn't hurt to go over to the person afterwards and say, like, are you okay with that joke? Like, was that okay with you? Because if it's not comfortable, then we can both speak out and say, well, that joke wasn't really fair, and can we not make jokes like that no more?
And we've got to be confident enough to do that, right?
We've got to be brave.
We've got to be brave. And there's got to be brave in doing it in the right way. Yeah, there can be bravery seen as standing up to bullies in a physical way, but that's not going to solve the problem. There's got to be doing it in the right way, which actually deals with the incident and makes sure it doesn't happen again or doesn't happen to anyone else again. Because the effects of bullying are there to see, right? 55% of people who are bullied in school will go on to develop some form of depression. That's what the statistics are saying at the minute, which is a high number. That's more than 50%, yeah, more than half who are on the receiving end of bullying. So if we know that's the impact that it has, we need to make sure that we're stopping it and we're doing these things. So the advice is great, but what can we do now as a school or as young people? What do we need to put in place to make sure that them statistics go down?
We could put in place like maybe workshops where someone that's experienced bullied or like seen bullying happen, they could talk about how they dealt with it and what you can do to make it better.
Yep, so improving understanding.
Yeah.
I think that in terms of anyone levelling up on improving anything, it comes with understanding first and then changing society or changing the business or changing the approach to things, without a doubt. So that the workshops are there to inform and help and gather information to present, to go, well, this is the effect and this is why we need to stop it. Anything else, Savannah?
There should be more training going into teachers on how to notice antisocial behaviours and notice when a child isn't acting in their normal characteristics, whether that's acting up in class or being late to class. The teacher should be able to pick up on, well, that's not normal for the child. What's going on and what can I do to make sure that everything's okay?
Yeah, so again, a fantastic point of levelling up and changing society to make sure these statistics go down, and therefore we have bullying's less common and there's more awareness around it and there's consequences in place if you are found to be doing that. But again, it comes down to the social side of it. In those social groups, the little comments which are more prevalent and that happen all the time, changing how people do that or changing how often that happens is, I think, one of the main things, as well as the systems and the school training and staff training, for example. So to finish, what advice would you give in a little tagline or a nice sentence to people who either are the bully or like I always asked it before, but what would you say? What do they need to be aware of, or are the victim, should I say?
Just believe that people will genuinely care for you and be there to talk to you whenever you need them, and yeah, just be able to go to someone and find someone who you have that trust and faith in, that they'll be able to deal with the issue.
Yeah, really important, really important. And what about advice you give to your friends? Is it like your friendship group that are there? Savannah, anything?
You know what? If you're noticing a hard time in your friendship group, keep your head up high. And you know, there's always going to be that one person you can talk to, always. And you know what? If your friendship group seems to be putting you down, then maybe that's not the place where you need to surround yourself as well.
And be brave enough to then change that, because we're in school a lot more than we're not in school, and we're in work a lot more than we're not in work, and we go to these places because we need to make sure that we're enjoying ourselves and being happy, and if we're not, then we need to change something about it, don't we?
You need to prioritise your happiness.
Absolutely, lovely tagline, prioritising our happiness. I like it.